Today I'm going to show you some mock spreads in the new dashboard layout from Erin Condren. But first, if you're new here, hey, my name is Lauren, and on my channel I share tools and tips to help you on your self-care journey. Planning is one of the things that I have learned to use in order to help me mentally wrap my head around all the things, all the to-dos, all that. And for the 2025-2026 year, I have decided to use the new dashboard layout that Erin Condren just came out with. If you want to see a full flip through of this planner, I have a different video that I can point you to. I'll leave a link in the description. I flipped through the whole thing and talk a little bit about how I'm planning to personally use it. Today, I'm just going to show you some mock spreads. I purchased an 18-month planner so that I can have a bunch of extra weeks, not only to plan ahead early. I'm using the October and November 2026 week pages as my May and June because the dates line up. So I have a bunch other extra pages and actually have some that I've already ripped out of here because this thing is so chunky. I already have 1 week already written out that I mocked up using my own real life plans as an example to show you. And then I also am going to plan out a week similar to like what you're going to see already. That way you can kind of get a feel for how long it took. Okay, so I put it all the way here in December. Oh, I did mark it. Let me turn my light on. Okay, let me take this out. So let me show you what a blank one looks like. So this is what it looked like, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I like drew some boxes and kind of made this look journally? So this is what I came up with. I basically just drew free-handed boxes around the dates, and I used this tip. This tip is black. I know the pen barrel looks blue, but these are a pack of, there's a little square checklist on this side. It's like a stamp. I purchased these not because of the stamp part, but because of the black tip. Erin Condren doesn't sell like this as like its own type pen, but I really like this tip. I've purchased, I've used this tip in a different pen, one that had, I believe on the other side it had a stamp too, but it was like a different stamp and it had came in one of their, I think, gift set box for teachers a few years back. So that's the tip I used. I really like the way that tip writes on the Erin Condren paper. And I actually used it also to write, not just to draw in all that. So that's what all the writing is done in here with that tip. And the highlighter that I use there is this one. It's a chisel tip on this side and a fine point or like a medium tip on this side. It says bullet tip on this side. It's the bullet tip is very similar to their dual tip. That's the fine side. Their dual tip medium. It looks very similar, but these are set from last launch. So they still make these and it highlighted really well. It didn't look like it was smeared at all. So these work surprisingly well. And I have tested using their highlighters with like other pens too. So these have worked really well so far for me with that. So that's all I did here was basically draw a bunch of lines. And obviously I left the date here and left it alone because this is just like a mock spread. I have been, since I've been like planning in it and using the October pages, I've been using a washi strip up here at the top to cover that up because the month I'm using doesn't really match with the actual month that I'm actually planning. So that strip of washi works well there. It's a good size for this. This is actually something from Planner Kate. But I want to, after I did this, I was like, I wonder how cool this would look if I did it in blue ink. I know there's a lot of people out there who like writing in blue. I prefer writing in black, but I actually thought this would probably be cool to try in a different color. So I'm going to recreate the same thing over here on this side, except I'm going to use some blues. So here, this is Pentel Energel. I'm pretty sure it's a 0.5 tip in here, but the one that's in here is a blue black ink. Energel ink writes so nice on all kinds of paper, but Erin Condren it works really well with. And I thought this would probably pair well with this color dual tip. This dual tip specifically came in a spring bundle box that Erin Condren sent me. I shared it in a video where I shared like my order from their spring sale. I also included the spring bundle that they sent me in that order. I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't seen that. But in that came 3 dual tips, and this one is called Iris, and it is the same color that is in their dual tip set that they launched for life planners, where they have like a 12 pack now that you can get, and it has colors that match the different months of the year. And this one is the one I think that goes with April. So it's a nice blue ink. I actually like it. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this fine tip and attempt to recreate the exact same thing here. And I think I'm going to use this blue pen to write with instead of this. So I'm going to use this to draw all that and use this to write everything. And then I'll use this to do some highlighting. I like to highlight just like the really important appointments, and I freehanded drawing these boxes, but you could easily use the stencil that the planner comes with to draw in some boxes. I find that this one is, I mean, it'll fit in the line, but it's really big. It basically takes up the whole line. So the one right underneath it. So if you want, I could use that instead of freehanding, but it didn't bother me to freehand the boxes. I felt like it kind of matched along with the whole let's make the whole thing look like a journaling thing. So I wanted to show a sample of how to use this, and I'll probably speed this process up. Editing Lauren here to let you know that the audio for the rest of this video is going to sound off because I forgot to move my mic, my good mic, back in front of my face after I was done writing out the spread, and I kept talking, and I knew when I moved it I was going to forget to move it back. So thankfully my iPad had the audio, so enjoy listening to that less pleasant sound. And I promise I won't make that mistake again. Well, maybe I don't promise, but I'll try not to. Sorry. Okay, so that part didn't take very long. I'll pop up on the screen like how long that took me to draw that part in. So now I'm going to use my pen to actually like write in the appointments and fill out the rest. Okay, so the thing that's annoying about this stencil, and part reason probably why I don't use it, is because like, I don't know, if I'm trying to use these, I'm dealing with the coil. So depending on the placement of where you want to draw, this can be tricky. So, I mean, I'm going to try my best to use this to show. And I'm going to go back. I always like making my boxes like 3-dimensional. That wasn't too difficult to use. All right, let me go on this side with this. Let's see. How did I think I started it on the second line. There were some appointments this day. I'm gonna put the checkbox here. And I did 3 on Saturday. Oh my goodness. Those are so sloppy looking. I guess I should have just scooted it over to the side and then drew it again to draw those lines. But that's fine. All right, let's see. Everything else is just writing. PU stands for pickup. That's anytime I have like a pickup, like if I'm picking up the kids, I use PU as that. And I'm kind of intentionally writing fast and not writing neatly because technically whenever I'm writing my plans, that's what I do. I don't usually write neatly when I'm doing it. I'm trying to write in real time, like how I would generally write my plans. So if it looks sloppy to you, sorry, that's just the way my handwriting is whenever I write quickly. And I've also learned with this layout compared to writing in my daily duo, the line spacing in here compared to a daily duo is more narrow or more wide, sorry. So I'm intentionally making my handwriting a little bit bigger because of the line spacing in here, because I feel like if I write smaller, it looks weird to me. That's just my opinion because of the size pen tip that I'm using, because I'm using a 5. I guess if I was using like a more bold tip, a 0.7, I wouldn't need to write as big to fill in the space, but that's what I'm doing because that's the pen size I'm using. Okay, so this side, I just poked myself. This side is done. Actually, honestly, at this point, I'm not sure I'm liking the different color combination where I used this with this. I don't know. You're going to have to let me know what you think about the different colors. Yeah, I'm wondering now if like it would have been better if I had just used this tip the whole time to write also with my plans. I don't know. Maybe that would have been better, but let's fill in this side and see what it looks like filled out. I meant to write the initials, and then I started to write the, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, I'll just abbreviate the whole show. So the show that this is referring to is The Last Thing He Told Me. It's on Apple TV, and it's based on a book by Laura Dave. I read the book, and then I had watched the series a few years ago, and then I was like, my girls are old enough, and we have Apple TV again. We go off and on having the subscription. Let me know if you do the same. And we were watching it, so that's why that ended up in my like to-do list as a mock, because that is something that really happened. I think I intentionally, when I did this list for this mock, I separated out like content related things on this side of the list and other things on this side. And I thought that would be interesting to see if that's something I like doing with my plans moving forward. And then down here, I wrote a little note. I'm going to write a different one this time. Say this mock spread with Pentel blue black. Okay, so that's how that turned out. I'm not so sure I'm entirely happy with it, but I'm glad that I kind of did a test with it. I think I would have liked this better if I would have used either stuck with this for the whole thing and wrote out the plans, or use this to draw out all around. But I don't know, you might like it, you might like the contrast. I'm not sure I'm liking it. But that's just me. I usually don't use any colored pens when I plan. And actually, one thing I forgot to do is I forgot to highlight these. Do you see what I mean? Like how well this is working and it's not smudging anything. Good job, Erin Condren, on these. I'm kind of sad that they didn't make any more of these. They switched to the back to the dual tips. I know people are excited about the dual tips. I'm excited about the black dual tips. I'm not really a fan of the color ones. It's just I don't use color. So anyway, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.